Open up the door, it's Dave!
Who?
Dave! D-A-V-E!
Dave?
Right, man, Dave.
Dave's not here.
Here's a question for you. How much can I reasonably take with me in my Model Y? How many bags fit in the trunk? What can I fit in the frunk? How many things can I take and still fit 4 people comfortably in the car? Let's take a look at that, and then at the end we'll take a look at how those same bags fit inside the RAV4. So here are the bags I want to put in my car. I have 2 very large bags that I would take on a longer trip, plus 4 roller bags that you might take as like carry-on in an airplane. Now I've taken out the cover, the cargo mat, and I'm going to put the bags in here. Now this is the first time I'm putting the bags in here, so I'm going to probably have to make a couple of tries to get this right. In fact, you'll see that it took me several tries to try and get it right. The problem is with the shape of the car and the way it kind of angles down at the hatch, you have to be careful about how big things are at the edges. So you have to kind of work around it a little bit. I'm looking at it and trying to figure it out and decide how they fit. And you can see that generally speaking, there's no problem fitting these in here. They fit okay. It's a question of closing the hatch. Now you may have noticed that I didn't use the space underneath. There's an actual cargo space that's right underneath there where I could put one of these bags comfortably. But I'm trying to see if I can fit them in without having to do that. So let's try it like this and see if we can close the trunk. And the answer is no. It actually beeped at me and told me it wouldn't close. And that's because of the edges again. So let's try again. We'll take another attempt and we'll do this again. We'll rearrange things. We'll see if maybe it'll close this way. I can see where the edges are. Nope, still didn't close. So we can move things around a little bit. Maybe it's just a matter of kind of moving it away from the edge. It has to do with the shape and the fact that in the inside of it, there's a little bit of an edge, a lip, that bangs against there. So the bigger bags have to go in the middle. That's the only way this will work. And you have to be careful about how close you get the bags to the edge of the car. Otherwise, they're going to bang into where the lid comes down. So you have to kind of play around with it a little bit, try a couple of times. I'm just trying it to see what happens. I'm moving them around. I'm thinking it through as I'm doing this. Yeah, you can see I'm making several attempts here to try and make this work. I'm close, but it's not quite right. So I keep playing and keep playing and keep playing and keep adjusting. So the space is not all that greatly usable on the first pass, right? Because of the shape of the trunk, it's a little bit weird. Now, as I keep trying this, I keep getting better at it. I keep getting closer and I keep seeing where the problems are. And I'm eventually going to get this. I'm going to make it work. And I know that if I were using different kinds of bags, like say duffels or other sort of collapsible bags, this would be even easier. And it does remind me that there's still space in there where I could put some of these collapsible bags. So I think the answer is, and what I finally figured out was, I really need to put one bag underneath. That's one of the small roller bags. Fits in there comfortably. I could probably maybe even put 2 or that and a duffel or something like that. But as I go ahead and start reseating these bags in here without that one bag, I can make the difference in terms of space. Now I still have to shuffle a little bit to kind of figure it out, but you can see how it's kind of coming together. This space is being used a little more efficiently, and I can almost get the lid closed. It's so close. You can see it as I'm looking at it. I'm like, oh, it's so close. I know I can do this, but I'm just going to have to shuffle a little bit and move them around. Standing them up, laying them down. These hard-sided large bags are my problem. If I were using smaller bags only, wouldn't be so much of a problem. These larger bags did turn out to be a bit of a challenge. But here we go. I think I've got it now. I think I figured it out. Once I've figured out where these can go and how they can fit in there, it looks like everything will fit comfortably. So here we go. Here's all 5 bags going in. No, wait. I think I need to do one more thing here just to get these rearranged a little bit. Not quite right. Laying them down seems to be the answer. Maybe if I lay them down like this, I know I can close it. This is about space utilization, right? If I look at the size of the space that I have and how much space I can use, I got it. Here we go. I can actually close the lid, and that worked. It actually worked that way. So I got 5 of my 6 bags in just like that. Pretty cool. And the 6th one is underneath. So it actually does work pretty well. And this is about the shape of the car, as I mentioned. So as you look at it, sort of that curvature in the back is the problem. And this is why this is a little bit smaller than the RAV4 when you look at the size with the seats up. When the seats are down, you actually get a little more cargo space inside the Model Y than you do in the RAV4. And you can see why, because the space is really wide and big and it goes up and around. But you just have to be careful about how much space you're using inside the car. And that's kind of the critical thing, is sort of that sloping part of the back is where you have to really work against it. But I could easily put 6 bags in there and 4 people, no problem. Now, just to kind of give you perspective, here's those same 6 bags going in the back of the RAV4. And as you can see, this is much easier. I'm able to just put them in because I don't have to adjust them, because you have that vertical space to work with. It's really not a problem at all. Now I play with it a little bit. I do a couple of different attempts to try and get them in properly, but you get the idea. It's pretty straightforward to just put them in and make it work, and you can get the trunk closed pretty easily. But that's because of the vertical space you have. That vertical lip that goes around the inside of the hatch is kind of the problem there. But as you can see, I got all of them into the RAV4. And I'm not happy with the way I laid them out. I could be more efficient with my space. So I'm taking them back out and just readjusting a little bit to use my space a little more efficiently. So you get a sense of kind of how everything fits in here versus how they fit in the Model Y. I just wanted to give you a sense of sort of perspective-wise how much different the space is. It's kind of neat to look at it this way. So I'm just restacking them a little bit to be more efficient with my space. I have a little room in between, so I'll put the other bag in there and I'll do the last one on top, and we're good. And that's it. And that's how I put together my space inside my RAV4. So if I look back at the Model Y, you've got all 6 bags in here, 5 on top, 1 underneath, but you can see they're fairly well arranged. And then in my RAV4, it's all 6 bags in this space. So really, there's no difference there. Don't underestimate that space underneath. There is plenty of room for a bag under here. In fact, I usually keep an instant crate with me, but here I am just putting a bag in, and you can see how it fits in there. There's plenty of room. And then I've also got the space in the frunk where I can still store another small bag. So I've shown you that in a different video. So there you go. That's what fits inside a Model Y.
What's your point, David?